In sports, you never know. There are teams on paper that should be unbeatable, and dynasties that appear inevitable. But sometimes the end result becomes the exact opposite of that, and it's that shocking line between triumph and tragedy, heartbreak and elation, that can make you both sad or mad, or both. Because remember, for everyone that misses, someone makes it. For everyone that loses, someone wins. And that's why we watch. And that's the thread that drove this entire 2023 Monster Energy Supercross process. Chase Sexton had bounced through all the roles, from unexpected to unexpected, and then to champion. And Team Honda, once the biggest juggernaut in this sport's history, had moved from the team that couldn't lose no matter what happened to the team that couldn't win no matter what they tried. Until a year when it was looking bleak, again, ended up turning in the most unexpected of ways. Perhaps nothing sums up this title run better than this stat. From 1982 through 1996, Honda won all but 2 Premier Class AMA championships. That's 13 out of 15, by far the best run ever for a brand in this sport. Shout out to Kawasaki's Jeff Ward for being the only rider to win a title not on a Honda during that 15-year run. But then somehow the same team and brand also went 20 years between titles, from Ricky Carmichael's 2003 AMA Supercross crown until now with Chase Sexton. Only Suzuki, which missed the AMA Supercross title from 82 through 04 and ended that run with Carmichael in 05, had a longer Supercross drought. But even Suzuki didn't go as long without a Premier Class title overall, because Greg Albertine won the 1999 250 National Motocross title. Honda had not won indoors or out since Carmichael left, the longest Premier Class drought in AMA Motocross and Supercross history. Oh, and they tried. So many superstars, so many years, so many wins, so many good seasons and prospects, but never a title. Honda's most recent relationship with Ken Roczen illustrated this, as Ken went out of the series after back-to-back wins to start the 2017 season. And try as he and the team might, they could only come close, including title finishes of 2-3, 2-3 in 4 straight series from 19 through 21. Then there's Chase Sexton, who admitted in the Friday press conference before this year's Supercross finale that he had been beaten by a lot of kids growing up, especially his old rival Austin Forkner. Sexton grew up in Illinois, and he didn't ride during the cold winters. But as he got older, and then got a big break with the Geico Honda Cedar team, he and his family moved to Florida. He stepped up his training, and then his speed. Still, few had pegged Sexton, in his early pro days, as someone who would develop so strongly that he could eventually battle a legend like Eli Tomac toe-to-toe. But from the moment Sexton was on a 450, he really was that fast, taking top qualifying awards on a regular in both series. The wins were a little slower in coming, but by last summer, he was a rider in full, battling Tomac through a grueling, thrilling 24-moto duel for the AMA Pro Motocross 450 Championship. But while Tomac edged his young rival in the finale, he admitted that Chase would be the next 450 guy, and it seemed to be a matter of when, not if, and the 2023 Monster Energy Supercross Championship would provide the battleground. Throughout this season, Sexton was even faster than before, and he dominated in any measure of speed, but also the crashes and mistakes while leading became frustrating certainly for him and his team, but also anyone cheering for him. Tomac, meanwhile, had played his veteran role to perfection, combining with fellow 2-time Supercross champion Cooper Webb to inch away from Sexton in points. Due to that, there was a time when Sexton and Honda could have given up and said what all teams and fan bases facing another disappointing season say: wait till next year. The prospect of Sexton jumping both Tomac and Webb in points late in the season seems so remote that virtually no previous season in the 49 years of Supercross could indicate such a change was coming. But that is why they run the races. Ultimately, both Webb and Tomac would make tiny errors that resulted in big, unexpected injuries. And while Sexton had made his share of mistakes, he emerged unhurt each time, and most importantly, got up willing and able to keep trying. And behind him, the Honda team didn't give up either. Disappointing endings had become so normal, but the team simply wasn't going to settle for another. Credit to them for being patient. When Tomac went out in Denver, the points lead slipped to Sexton, and the title, suddenly, shockingly, was on lock. But instead of celebrating and wiping away 20 years of frustration in one night, the team elected to give Tomac his time and respect. Finally, a week later in Salt Lake City, Sexton crossed the finish line with another race win, and this time, the championship. While Chase Sexton had not been pegged as the brightest shining prospect in this sport's history, and certainly not pegged as someone who would someday unseat a legend like Tomac, it's perhaps that which helped him through the process of this year. All season, Sexton just kept focused on himself, what he could control, and where he could improve. He absorbed the punishment, both mentally and physically, but he never broke down, never gave up hope, never stopped believing, even when the prospects looked dim. And now, he is the new Monster Energy AMA Supercross champion, and Honda's long title drought is over. For Eli Tomac and Cooper Webb, their team, and their fans, the season concludes with a bitter end. But it's that combination, the highs and the lows, that makes sports so compelling. Because Sexton and Honda had certainly gone through their bad days too, and that just served to make it that much sweeter when the good times finally came their way.